Hey guys, Wadeboshiverson here, and welcome to another edition of Wadeboshiverson on basketball. This will be my preseason rankings of each of the teams. I'm going to go over the projected starting lineups, go over the bench, key additions, key losses, and throwing in a little bit of interesting facts for wherever needed. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to go by division in each video. So that means 5 teams plus 6 divisions. So that's 6 videos, and then one more that'll tackle playoffs, where I'll give, the championship winners and the finals winner. So let's jump right into this. First, we're going to start with the Pacific Northwest Division. Always puzzled me as to the Northwest Division. We're including Utah. We're including Denver. I guess that's not too bad. Minnesota, it's a long ways away from the Northwest, and Oklahoma City is hot as hell. Why the heck would anybody from Oklahoma City think that it's a cold area? Anyway, starting with, should add that I'm going to put a ranking on top here. So, for example, number 5, the Utah Jazz. They're going to be the basement dwellers this year, the Utah Jazz. Projected starting lineup of point guard Trey Burke, shooting guard Gordon Hayward, small forward Marvin Williams or Richard Jefferson. If they decide to go big, they'll go with Williams. If they decide to go a little smaller, it'll be with Jefferson. Power forward is Derek Favors, and the center is Enes Kanter. Their notable bench players, pretty much D-leaguers. Not much there. Key additions was Trey Burke from the draft, and they lost their 2 best players, Al Jefferson and Paul Millsap. Quick interesting fact here for you. The 2 highest paid players on the roster are Richard Jefferson at $11 million and Andres Biedrins at $9 million. It's going to be a miserable year for Jazz fans. They've got nothing there. The thing to watch out for is the development of Enes Kanter and Derek Favors, as well as also the young guns Trey Burke and Gordon Hayward. I like what they're doing here. They've taken on some higher salary players like Richard Jefferson and Andres Biedrins in exchange for draft picks, and so they're reloading. And come next season, they can look to the free agent market. They should have plenty of money to deal with and add some players. But they've committed to the rebuilding mode, which I like about the Utah Jazz and how they are starting to formulate this. And with Gordon Hayward, Trey Burke, Derek Favors, Enes Kanter, you're looking at a strong core. I don't project them all to be starters, future in their career. I think that players like Gordon Hayward will end up being a 6-man, and a pretty good one at that. So number 5, Utah Jazz. Number 4, this was the interesting one, ranking the Portland Trail Blazers and the Denver Nuggets. I decided to go with number 4, the Portland Trail Blazers. Projecting starting lineup of point guard Damian Lillard, shooting guard Wes Matthews, small forward Nicholas Batum, power forward LaMarcus Aldridge, and a center of Robin Lopez, despite my hatred of the man. Notable bench of Mo Williams and Myers Leonard. Key additions of Robin Lopez, CJ McCollum, Thomas Robinson, Mo Williams, Darrell Wright, and notable bench. Just add the key additions and insert over here. I got tired of writing everything. J.J. Hickson is the big loss. He was their starting center this year, or last year. Portland added a bench. That's what I can say they did. However, I don't feel their starting lineup is strong enough yet. I don't like Robin Lopez for the Portland Trailblazer offense. He's slow, he's klutzy. I like him coming off the bench in case he needs somebody to bang around in the middle. But other than that, I'm not happy with him starting at center. Myers Leonard did not show me anything last year, and it makes me question whether or not he was a good first-round pick for them to take. CJ McCollum, I was disappointed in this pick too, just because he's so similar to Damian Lillard. It's sort of that half point guard, half shooting guard. Ultimately, I would really like to see them slide Damian Lillard down to the shooting guard slot and go out and find a top-notch point guard to start distributing the ball to him and LaMarcus Aldridge. Batum I like. quite a bit at the small forward position. Matthews, I think, belongs as a six-man. He's overmatched in the shooting guard. People can push him around pretty easily. He's very lightweight. LaMarcus Aldridge, you need a very strong defensive center to play alongside LaMarcus Aldridge because he is so offensively minded. He doesn't play a lot of defense. He's not real good defensively. So certainly having Robin Lopez is going to make them very vulnerable down low in the post. I would look for anybody with some speed to absolutely run them ragged. That's why I went with number 4 at the Portland Trailblazers, despite the losses of Andre Iguodala to the Denver Nuggets. Moving on to number 3, the Denver Nuggets. Point guard of Ty Lawson, shooting guard Wilson Chandler, small forward Danilo Gallinari, power forward Kenneth Faried, center of J.J. Hickson. Notable bench, JaVale McGee, Timothy Mozgov, Nate Robinson, Andre Miller, Randy Foye. Pretty solid bench coming off there. Key additions are J.J. Hickson, Randy Foye, and Nate Robinson. Key losses are George Karl. What the hell were they thinking? Moving on. Corey Brewer and Andre Iguodala. Interesting fact for you, JaVale McGee is Denver's highest paid player at 11.0, or actually 10.9, I think it was. Guess that's one thing he has in common with Shaq. ... Anybody who watches Inside the NBA gets that joke. Oh, poor Denver. Here's the problem. They've got a lot of guys that are good pieces around, but they don't have a go-to guy. Ty Lawson is a great number 2 or 3 option. He's not the number 1, but he will be for this team. The thing I like about this team is that they are so well-rounded. When you have guys coming off the bench like JaVale McGee, Randy Foye, Nate Robinson, Timothy Mozgov, that all have something to add, and Andre Miller to distribute the ball as a pure point, that's what made me place them above Portland. It's that balance of their starting lineup and their bench. A lot of it's going to depend on the coach. I don't like the moves they made at the coach. You need a very good coach in order to get the best out of this structured of a roster. It's not simple like over in Miami where you just give the ball to LeBron James and let him run. You got to establish a good, solid offense that's going to get a lot of touches. It's going to spread the ball. And also got to worry about, it's a pretty small lineup with Hickson and Faried as the power forward and center. JaVale McGee and Timothy Mozgov are not ready to take over the center slot. JaVale McGee looks like a giraffe on skates when he plays, despite the fact he is immensely talented. So that's why I chose Denver Nuggets as the number 3. Number 2, the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right. The key additions we'll go over first. Corey Brewer and Kevin Martin. Key losses. Oh, and also key additions. The usual, who the hell is that European that they bring in? A la Nikola Pekovic, Alexei Shved, guys like that. They added some other guys that I've never even heard of, but they'll probably be very good. Key losses, AK-47 and Luke Ridnour. Interesting fact, white men unite. Gasol brothers belong here. Going to the starting lineup, you'll see why. Ricky Rubio, the point guard, white. Kevin Martin, the shooting guard, white. Chase Budinger, the small forward, white. Power forward, Kevin Love, white. Nikola Pekovic, white. On the bench, J.J. Barea, white. Alexei Shved, white. They lost AK-47, white. They lost Luke Ridnour, white. Now, how can a white team this is like going back to the 40s, like before segregation, or during segregation. I don't know what. I'm hoping this is a coincidence. It seems a little strange to me. So be it, I guess. But the only reason that you can have a whole white team and actually be relatively successful is because they have all of the best white dudes in the NBA with the exception of the Gasol brothers. And arguably they actually have 2 better players at the power forward and center than the Gasol brothers. What I like about this team, I like the depth coming off the bench, having Derek Williams, who could develop into a very good player. JJ Barea is a nice guy to come off the bench. Corey Brewer plays some lockdown D, and Alexei Shved is also pretty nice. I like the balance of this team between Ricky Rubio, who's the main distributor, a pure point guard, Kevin Martin, who's an all-out shooter, Chase Budinger, who does it all, really, Kevin Love, who's the scoring machine and also rebounds like crazy, and Pekovic is developing quite nicely and providing one of the more true centers in the league. Thing I don't like about this team, Ricky Rubio, injury-prone, Kevin Love, injury-prone, Nikola Pekovic, injury-prone. So the chances of this starting lineup staying for the entire season, slim to none. And that was my only issue with the Minnesota Timberwolves. You could see them slide down the rankings because of this injury habit that they have. Also remember, Kevin Love didn't even play last year. Who knows how healthy he's going to be coming into this season, or how out of speed he's going to be as well. So that's my opinion on the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, moving on to the leaders. I think it was probably pretty obvious. Number 1, OKC stole my Seattle Sonics. Point guard, Russell Westbrook. Shooting guard, Thabo Sefolosha. Small forward, Kevin Durant. Power forward, Serge Ibaka. Center is Kendrick Perkins. Notable bench, Jeremy Lamb, and Jeremy Lamb. Key additions, what did they do? Key losses, Kevin Martin. Is it safe to assume that keeping Kendrick Perkins over James Harden was probably a mistake? Yeah, probably. If it were me, I'd probably slide in Nick Collison into the center slot instead and pair him with Serge Ibaka, just because Collison's a far better teammate than Kendrick Perkins is. And if he gets the ball in the post, he actually knows how to pass out of the post, where Perkins only knows how to pass out of bounds. Main issue with this, that's the notable bench. Jeremy Lamb didn't play particularly well last year, and they don't have anybody else to come off the bench. We have Hashim Thabit, who I'm not quite sure knows that he's supposed to score on his own hoop and protect the other side of the hoop. I think he just tries to score on both sides and kind of forgets which one's which. So they're going to need a lot of help. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and Ibaka, they have got to be Iron Men, steel, 44-plus minutes a game. They have got to remain incredibly healthy, and they got to play some lockdown defense. Ibaka's going to have to take another step forward in order to fill a gap for, the loss of first James Harden and then the loss of Kevin Martin. They have no bench, and that's my main issue. Again, going back to Minnesota, if Minnesota can stay healthy, I think they can overtake this OKC team. You can't play Kevin Durant all 48 minutes and Russell Westbrook all 48 minutes every single game. Somebody's going to have to step up. They're going to have to make a move. But spending $9 million on Kendrick Perkins probably wasn't a smart idea. To pair that along with the almost $13 million Serge Ibaka is getting, I think that was their mistake there. So we'll see. But OKC for now, they're the number 1. But don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year or the year before that, because they've got nothing left but Westbrook and Durant and Ibaka. That's a great shell, but not good enough. Overall, with the Northwest Division, it provides a lot of question marks because there are teams that can step up like Portland, there's teams that could step up like Denver and surprise people, and there's teams like Minnesota that can step up and surprise people. And we also know that there's a basement dweller who is going to be competing for the number 1 pick, probably will get it in the Utah Jazz. In terms of cards, I would go check out the Utah Jazz and start looking at Enes Kanter and Derek Favors and picking up some stuff for them, because they're going to be playing 40 minutes a night whether they are ready to or not, because that's how weak that Utah Jazz team is. So anyway, guys, that's the first of the videos. Let me know how you like it, if you like the system that I'm going with, and we can move on and stay in the Western Conference. So go ahead and let me know. Appreciate it, guys. See ya.